Om. 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 Namaste. Vande Mataram. So this morning we are going to have a very beautiful discussion on active surrender. So different types of surrender we have already seen during the course of action, course of discussion, of course, taking examples from Mother and Sri Aurobindo, what they have quoted. From their quotations, from their references, we have seen many types of surrender, like tamasic surrender we have seen, complete surrender, vast surrender, surrender in the service of the soul, active surrender. So different types of surrender we have seen, tamasic surrender. Radha's prayer also in different ways, different examples we have also seen, like the case of Radha's prayer we have seen. The case of Mira we have seen, the case of your Draupadi we have seen, case of Arjuna also, of course we have seen. So in many ways, many formats, many symbolize in different symbols, we have seen of course the types of surrender. Anyway, to some extent we will see discuss on active surrender, what actually it means. Still in the course, active surrender is when you associate your will with the divine will. Your will to be associated with the divine will. That is very important. What is not reject what is not the divine. It has to be rejected. Ascend to what is divine, only divine, because in spiritual literature, divine only exists, on divine nothing is there. So only divine, our goal is divine, our destiny is divine, our track is divine, our center is divine, everything centers around divine. Ascend to what is divine. So when there is active surrender, associate with your will with the divine will. And then what will be the results? Here in the course, very interestingly, in Savitri, of course, it has been quoted. If human will could be made one with the gods, if human thought could echo the thought of God, there must be synchronization. God's thought must be echoed and re-echoed in the human thought. Human will could be made one with the gods. There must be a synchronized relation. That would be one relation. Then man might be all-knowing and omnipotent. Again, another 2 3 steps Sri Aurobindo has gone ahead. Sri Aurobindo quote, "Yet man lives by the nature's force, so he is not freed from the nature." Sri Aurobindo then again assures, "Yet the force of man can be guided by the God's force. Then human will can accomplish the divine will. His mind will be delighted. His mind will be, of course, managed by the, it will be progressed by the divine power and will, light. So then what will happen? Then man, we might, then is he a miracle doing miracles. Then only can so he become all-knowing and omnipotent. This is the condition. If God's force will drive you, if man's will can be carried out by the God's will, man's mind will accept the thought of God, then man is definitely he is supposed to be all-knowing and omniscient, and thus he can do a miracle doing. He will be a miracle doing miracles. Thus can he be the nature's king. This is the criteria. And when there is when we are discussing on active surrender, there is the opposite part, that is passive surrender. Is when that passive surrender, during the course in his own cuttings, own wordings, is when everything is left entirely to the divine. Everything is left to the divine. That is actually passive surrender. That few can really do, few, because so many times tamasic surrender we have thought that this tamasic surrender, I have given everything, everything has been given, that is passive surrender is there. A few can really do so, that passive surrender, but simply sipping and claiming that we have done something, this is something like nothing in divine, nothing to go for the divine. It is likely one is living for oneself and trying to pursue his own figure through his own attempt, nothing with the divine. So few can really do so, because in practice it turns out that your surrender to the lower nature under pretext of surrounding to the divine nature. You don't know what you are going to do, but you feel you are doing, but nothing is there. This surrender is there, but not to the divine, but to the lower nature. Again, here in the course, there are two possibilities. Here in the differentiates shows. One, a purification of personal effort, which takes long time. You don't know how long it will go. Tapasya, ardent tapasya. And another by direct intervention of the divine grace, which is usually rapid in the action. So the thing out of the two things you have to choose what is necessary, because initially the part one ardent tapasya, the personal effort, it has been carried out since the time immemorial by different big sages and all, but it was difficult and risky. Second one is very powerful, direct intervention of the divine grace, usually rapid in action. Anyway, we'll go for the another type of surrender, that is a complete surrender. We know vast surrender, complete surrender. Many types of words we Sri Aurobindo has used in different context, of course. But Sri Aurobindo cautions us: complete surrender is not possible in so short a time. It has need of time. Don't know how long it will go. Only the divine knows. Only if we have faith in the divine grace, that is ultimately the one thing we can do. Of course, we are not doing. So, for a complete surrender means to cut the knot of the ego in each part of the being and offer it. There must be cut egolessness. The knot of ego must be cut in the each part of the being and offer it free and whole to the divine. The mind and the vital, the physical consciousness, even each part of the movements have one after one to be surrendered separately to give up their own way. There is no chance for its own way, one type of working, one style of processing. There is no chance for them. And to accept the way of the divine, that is the only thing. To what you have for what it is one style, you have to throw it up, reject, and you have to accept the way of the divine. So this is the method, and this is the process we are going. A surrender of one in one direction makes the other easier. If it is there to surrender, it will others easier, more inevitable, but it does not of itself cut or loosen the other knots, and especially those which are very intimately bound up with the present personality and is not cherished. Formations may often present great difficulties. That cherishedness is there, that consciousness is there, must be there. Even after the central will has been fixed, even that is also very tricky. The fast seals put on its resolve to practice. There must be a consistent practice, it must be there. Then attitudes of surrender can't be absolutely complete in the beginning. In the initial stage, the completeness is out of imagination. It is a billion dollar question. But it can be true, it can come. If the central will is sincere, then also against here in the course, the central will. If the central will is sincere and there is a faith and the bhakti, there is the faith and the bhakti, then possible. So there may be contrary movements, but they will be unable to stand for long. Naturally, there where there is divinity, there is stupidity, there is obstacle, there is mobilization, there is resistance. It is there, but in the long term, if you are persistent, if the sadhak is going and sticking the right path, he is having the faith, the aspiration, ardent aspiration, and then unshakable faith, it unable to stand. This resistance will go, and the imperfection of the surrender in the lower part will not be seriously interfered. So as long as the lower nature is active, the personal effort of the sadhak remains necessary. As long as the lower nature is active, once this lower nature is overcome, once we have gone, then naturally eventually the things will change. For those who want to make any effort, the absence of the effort of itself is a difficulty. They don't progress. Effort must be there. Initially, the personal effort is required. Then the divine has to work. After this thing, the nature will start working. Then where the nature's work will stop, where it has got its limits, then the divine will come, interfere and come. So for those who don't make any effort, without any effort, that absence of effort of itself is a difficulty. They don't progress. So naturally, eventually you have to work. take up the surrender or make idea or tepid wish for integral consecration will not do. There must be the push of the radical and the total change. So integral yoga, we know the aim and the objective is the total and the radical change of consciousness that has to be accomplished. So again, Sri Aurobindo quotes, it depends on what is meant by absolute surrender. Another already we have seen vast surrender, absolute surrender. It depends on what is meant by absolute surrender. The experience of it is in some part of the being, some experience of the absolute surrender, and the fact is of it that all the parts of the being that has to be sensed, that has to be experienced. The former may easily come at any time, but it is the latter that takes to be time to complete. Just imagine some part of the being, any part easily it can come, but in the entire part, all part of the being, it is difficult to come. So it has need of time. So again, we'll go. If the complete surrender is not possible in the beginning, it follows the personal effort is necessary, because it is we know it has a need of time and initially it does not come. If there is not complete surrender, then it is not possible to adopt the baby cat attitude. I am so, nothing is done, I need some excuse, I need some that is the baby cat. It becomes more tamasic passivity calling itself to surrender. Very difficult. For that, Sri Aurobindo speaks of, if this absolute surrender is not possible in the beginning, it follows the personal effort is necessary. So there is obstacles will come, there is debacles will come. You have to be very much cautioned, very much. So long as there is not full presence and conscious working in the higher force, very important, because already number of times we have discussed and we have stressed. We have read, of course, Sri Aurobindo and Mother. Um, so long there is not full presence and conscious working of the higher force, some amount of personal effort is indispensable. Personal effort, we feel personal effort means simply we'll go and we'll try to some extent. These are the initial thing, initial phenomenon, and initial meaning we have understood. But thing is that in another context, Aurobindo has quoted on personal effort, that attainment of God is the whole object of all personal effort. So it has not the in simply we are going for going sake, working for working sake, moving for moving sake. Everybody was going, I am going. So these are things simply things are going on. Simply I have to be just touch my hands. That is not the thing. You have to come forward. You have to do it. Everything should be for the sake of the divine. This also, there is no other way, only for the divine. As for leaving the result to the divine, it depends on what you mean by the phrase. Leave everything for the sake of the divine. About the phrase, what really you means? It implies dependence of the divine grace and equanimity and patience in the persistent aspiration. That is the thing. I have given for the sake of the divine. I am doing something. That is something like just trying to explain the things in my language, not in the divine language. Divine has to come into the divine, has to explain the divine child in the divine language. Then only divine work can be done with the help of this divine powers, divine light, divine strength, divine energy. So for that, that divinization is compulsory. We have to be prepared. So patience and equanimity in the persistent aspiration, then it is okay, all right. But it must not be extended to cover slackness and indifference in the aspiration and endeavor. There is no need, there is no other, you have to be very punctual and persistent. For the sake of the divine will, behind all the tapasya and receiving it and bestowing the fruit, it is at least the first form of the surrender. You leave thy works result to its omnipotence. All can change in the God's transfiguring hour. Divine is not bound to do what really we need. He has his planning. He knows what is better for us. So we have to surrender.